What's brewing?
What's
Kevin
up,
and Mark? Woo!
Yeah, bringing you some. Oh, yes.
Brewing.
I need those stickers. I can't wait. I mean, I'll be back in 2 weeks.
Don't
I might
threaten
wear
me.
one on my. I might wear it on my forehead.
Don't threaten me that you're coming back.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not. That is a threat.
So, where do we find you today?
I am in northern Michigan in the beautiful town of Charlevoix. Small, little northern Michigan town, quiet. This is the channel you're seeing. Boats come in and out. That's Lake Charlevoix, which takes you to Boyne, which is a great tourist attraction. Skiing in northern Michigan, Boyne Mountain. And behind me, if you go out the channel, that's Lake Michigan.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's beautiful out
Have
today.
you been on the water lately?
I have not gotten in the water. People have said, is it cold? And the answer is Kevin doesn't know. And that's it. It was freezing the other day. I got up here. What was it? What day? Tuesday. It was 60 and rainy. I mean,
Wow.
I had sweatshirt, hoodies
You turned
going,
into a southern flower.
blankets. I was so cold. So cold. My buddy's like, are you all right? I'm like, I don't think so, man. This is not good for me.
You are officially cast out of the Northeast.
Totally.
And you are now a southerner.
And here's the best part. I don't want any part of it. Everyone's like, would you ever consider moving back? I'm like, hell no, dude. No, I might see you every year for a couple of weeks.
July and August, baby.
No,
that's
thanks.
Yeah.
Yep. Not interested. So good place to visit. Don't want to live here anymore. But it's so pretty. You forget. So I was down by Torch Lake yesterday. And for anyone that's listening, if you look up Torch Lake, it is like the Caribbean Sea. So you go, I mean, you see right to the bottom. It's got that like deep view, like that light blue hue throughout different, all the way as you can see. I mean, it's stunning. The water's so clean. That's the one thing. It's not ocean water. It's beautiful lake water.
I love lake
and you know what else it means? There's no sharks in there. So Kevin can swim.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm not a big fan.
I'm not a big fan of the sharks either. I gotta admit.
No, of course
I am not a fan of the sharks.
I have just decided.
No freshwater sharks.
Yeah, I've just decided that I'm not going to die that way. I get the numbers, all the statistics. I don't give a shit. Kevin's not a big fan of swimming in the ocean because they're out there and then they know I'm in there. I know they're looking for me.
You think that you're that sweet. That's the part that cracks me up.
Like
some shark's just going to stop what he's doing, call all his buddies. Hey, we've been waiting. That guy, we've been like putting it up into like the shark gods. He's here.
Totally.
Let's go. And then they're like, no. And then they're all like, he's so skinny. There's no, forget it.
All the way in from
Austin. This muscle, he's too chewy.
All the way in from Austin, Texas. We want to nibble. We want to bite. You are
nobody's snack, man. It's not, the sharks are like, oh, he's just like chewy. No.
I know. That's what I've been told, but I'm convinced the other way.
All right, let's get on with our show, Kevin.
Let's do it. Let's talk. Why are we here? Let's talk real estate, baby.
Let's talk about what's brewing. The Austin market report just came out. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the New Jersey just put 370,000 property records on the blockchain.
Ooh, that's
Berkshire Hathaway just dropped almost $1 billion in 2 builders, and of course their stock shot up. We're going to talk about HUD, and then I'm going to bring a fun fact.
Holy shit, you got a lot to talk about.
I do.
We're going to start with you today. I'm going to go over why are interest rates on the rise, right? I'm going to talk about the Fed, what's their next move, and we're going to talk, of course, about inflation and jobs and how all that is maneuvering, and it's constantly on everyone's radar, and what do I think is going to happen. And we can talk briefly just about how the geopolitical move between Trump and Putin and all that playing out, although it's a grand stage, how little it means for interest rates.
Okay.
So why don't we start with you, since you have so many big topics? Let's dive there first and tell us what you want to talk about first.
Well, I'm going to pull a little chart up here, a little market intel. How's that?
You know me in charts. I love data. So yes.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to just share my chart once the system lets me. There we go. Love that.
Love when a plan comes together.
I really do. If and when it'll let me. It's my first time.
It's all right. Maybe I should have not started with you.
It's all good. I've got it all pulled up. All right, a little
There
market
it is.
intel. The July numbers just came out, so you're going to hear it right here. So our median sales price, we're going to look at what's going on in the Austin, Round Rock, San Marcos MSA. And we're going to look at the fact that our median sales price is down at 435. Now I'm going to show this later in a chart because I always like to look at the chart. Our closed sales for July were,
I have a question. So when you say it's down, I see it's down 3.3%. Is that year over year? Is that month over month? Like give us a
year over year,
a range. Year over year. Okay, we're looking at year over year data. Got it. All right.
Yeah. Our active listings, we are up almost 16%. That's pretty solid, which is why when you are a seller, you must knock it out of the park in house prep. I'm really big with my sellers right now on how to get your house for sale ready so that when we put it on the market, you're not just one more thing that people are scrolling through on the web. Like we have to stop them dead in their tracks and grab their attention. So having a plan, a pre-listing plan, a work back schedule, all those things, super important because buyers have so many choices right now. Our
First impressions are everything. First impressions.
They are everything right now. They are everything right now. And so I just wanted to take a minute to kind of acknowledge that. And it's kind of exciting that we've got all of that going on right now in the July numbers just coming out. I think if you're considering the fact right now about being a buyer and dipping your toe in the water, this is super important because once those rates drop, and Kevin, I know you're going to talk about rates today and the Fed and September and all the things. Like once those rates drop, these housing prices, which really I think have found a bunch of stability as far as I'm concerned, it's going to be interesting to see how that all comes together because to me, it's only going to drive the sales prices up, up, up.
I would agree with that as well. I think we're kind of seeing a low as far as, because look, you just pointed out, we're up 13-14% on listings. I would imagine. And
we lost Kevin.
We lost you?
You're breaking up.
Oh no. Oh no. You can't hear me at all?
Okay, you're back.
Oh, good. All right. What I was saying is, as we can see, listings are up. I would imagine that number of 15,000 homes is a pretty significant number as far as Austin is concerned.
Yeah.
So given that, and you have this plethora of inventory as far as that demographic or that area is concerned, the pressure to lower prices is already there. And we're seeing it dip ever so slightly. So if you think you're Notre Dame and you're going to pick the absolute bottom, like you said, you could miss the opportunity for how many listings are on the marketplace by waiting and procrastinating and thinking you're going to hit the exact moment. That may not come. And as we talk about all the time, we see dips in interest rates, and you gotta really be ready and be in a position to lock when you see those valleys, and that puts you in the best situation. So by sitting on the sidelines, if it's something you're going to make a move at, I don't really see a lot more movement other than maybe 2 or 3% downward pressure on houses. That's kind of what I'm guessing that we're going to see for the remainder of this year. And here's the beauty of it. you can negotiate everything. If you're a buyer right now, you have the ability to negotiate. So if you still think that correction is coming, great. Make offers where you already have that correction in place, believing and anticipating that that's going to be coming.
Absolutely. And I will share a negotiation discussion once I have clients out of option period next month. But there are definitely opportunities right now if you are a buyer. So the next thing I want to share with you, can you see this fancy chart right here?
Let me see. Yeah, I love this chart.
All right. So here's City of Austin. Okay. So as you can see, in 2025, our market pricing on our median pricing went up from June to July by $2,000, which again to me just speaks stability. Stability all day long. And so it's a little bit of a different tale than what you've seen in the previous years, where I mean, here we go down. Of course, here was 2023. Here we're going down, but it's ever so here. It's like 83, 83, 85. Like it's pretty cool that we are flattening out. And this is what I'm telling folks is like, if you're going to wait around, that's fine. You're welcome to wait around, but I don't want you to wait around as a buyer and then find somebody else is sleeping in it because they pulled the trigger. Like, even though we have a lot of choices, houses that are priced well right now, I don't care if you're in Cedar Park or like in Bastrop, if they're priced right, they are moving. And so this just tells the tale. And again, we're only looking at Austin proper, but I love looking at this chart. And when we come down here, you can see in volume of sales in July in Austin, we had, what is that, 40,000 less dollars of total volume, which basically, $40 million less in sales, which basically translates to a difference of 110 houses.
Wow.
110 houses, that's it. So what is that? That's, that adds up obviously in a month, 110 houses. So how many is that a week? 30 a week. It's a lot.
It's not crazy. I mean,
3 times 30, 3 a week, 3.5 houses a week. People don't let me ever do math in my head.
I know. I was going to jump in there, but I was
900 houses, 30 times 30 is 900. So 30 times 3, if I do my times table, going back to grade 2, I don't know. I was 7. What do I know? It's still that 110 houses difference. So not the end of the world by any stretch. But of course, if you're a realtor and you are in the business of feeding your family, you are looking at every opportunity you can to negotiate on every angle of every house for your buyers. And it's a good news story right here in Austin. I think, we're like I said, we are flattening out as it relates to the price house of our median prices, and we are flattening out in terms of volume. I anticipate for August. I think we're going to have a little bit when we get the August numbers out. We tend to have a dip because people have already moved, getting ready for the school year, right? So it'll be interesting to see what our numbers are. And again, I think a lot of that is going to be driven by whether or not more of a cut gets baked in. But we did hit low in mortgage rates, did we not, in the last week or so?
We did. So, we did hit a low, and then ever since, it's just been on the increase. Inflation, that component last week, we saw CPI come out. Ever since last week, if I pull up this chart, this is a 5-day chart. We can see. Actually, no, this is a 1-year chart, but I probably should have pulled up a different chart. Let me do that. Let me get rid of that. But what I was saying is inflation is once again the big concern. We saw yesterday the Fed fund minutes were released from their last meeting. Now, that meeting was before the non-farm payroll, but it was clear in those minutes that inflation outweighed the concern of the labor market. And rightfully so. We had those data sets. We didn't have those corrections. It'd be interesting to see what that has changed since then. But then since then as well, CPI has been on the rise. We just had released this morning. We had services PMI, that's up. So inflation does not seem to be going anywhere. As a matter of fact, it seems to be really consistently inching up every month that this data comes in. And what you're finding now is if the labor market is really struggling as much as we think, based on that non-farm payroll number, is that a one-off, those corrections, you got 2 months of big corrections. If this month we come out beginning of September and we get something similar with corrections, that's like, oh shit, that number was wrong too. Well, now the Fed's got a huge issue because now they're in basically stagflation. You have a slowing economy, you got a labor market that's struggling, and you have inflation that continues on the rise. Worst case scenario, and what it's done, unfortunately, is it's taken the possibility of that Fed funds rate cut. If you remember last week, we were sitting at 99%. We're now down to 75. So in 1 week's time, we lost a 25% chance of what people think the Fed will do in their September meeting coming up.
Yep.
And as I said, and I'll say it again, it's going to be data driven. We still have a non-farm payroll number. We still have next week, we are going to get, this is next week's data coming our way right here. Next week, we're going to have some new home sales. The data, the housing market data does not really shift the market that much. The Fed is not really concerned on that. That's not really in their dual mandate. But as you'll see on Tuesday, consumer confidence could be a decent number that would move the market. You're going to get GDP for Q2. How real is that number? It's going to be their first revision. But right there, you got core PCE coming. So you got inflation coming next Friday. It always seems to come on that Friday date.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, that's going to be another major mover because you got PCE one more time. You're then going to get non-farm payrolls the following week. And then we're going to get CPI one more time. And then the Fed's going to meet. So you can be at 75, you can be at 99. I keep saying, you know what? It is not guaranteed we are getting that September rate cut, because if inflation keeps going up and PCE indicates it's going up in the wrong way, and then PCI confirms it, I'm going to be in the camp. I've already said it. I don't think the Fed should do a goddamn thing. I think they should sit on the sidelines. They've done enough damage. They should just sit on the sidelines and let it play out. But that'll change, and we will not be getting a rate cut. And then we'll be kicking the can down to December, which would mean essentially one cut this year. I mean, there's only a chance for two more. I mean, that's all that's left for the Fed, is they got two more meetings, I believe, right?
So you're saying there's a chance.
So that's funny. Yeah, there's only, well, no, you got an October meeting too in there. That's right. So you got three more meetings to get two cuts, because that's what the market would like to see. But here's the bad part. Everyone that's sitting on the sidelines thinking they should be waiting for these interest rates, we talked about it last week as well. The market's already baked in a quarter point cut. If we do not get a cut, there's going to be significant data reasons why. And if inflation outweighs the labor market concern, interest rates are going up. And we're going to be back up.
And that's where people are kind of being cautious, which I agree with.
And I get that cautiousness, but your cautiousness, if you were in the market and you're like, I'm trying to pick the perfect time, right? We talk about this as well. You're trying to pick the perfect time. Well, honestly, the perfect time, it was weeks ago. It was weeks ago when we got that non-farm payroll number, and all of a sudden interest rates dropped significantly there for about two days of real trading for the market digests more. You had that Friday, big move. Monday we opened, market digested over the weekend, big move. And then we started getting more data that was inflationary. That's not in our favor, has proven it's not in our favor. And since then, rates have been inching up ever so slightly. So if you look at like the last 2 weeks, interest rates have been kind of on the move. They've been kind of inching up. And all the data that you're seeing and all the rhetoric of, oh, we're at all these lows, it's old news. No, we're not. You missed it. So that's what I'm saying is.
You're just making people, you missed it. And another thing.
Yeah,
The
you
thing
missed
is,
it because
the thing is, 5 years from now, if you don't buy, where are you going to be? Like I have, right?
right,
Oof, that's the answer. Oof.
100%, right? Because real
Like
estate always seems to go up. Land
it,
goes up, everything.
you're like hedging for such a small difference on where you're going to be in 5 years from now or 10 years from now.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, and let me tell you something, in Austin, where we've seen obviously our prices come down substantially versus where they were in the pandemic, right? We have so many people, if you bought during the pandemic and you need to sell now, odds are you're taking a pretty solid loss. I mean, if you've renovated and done all the things, different story. But if you just know I bought the house and I haven't touched it since I bought it, you're taking a loss. And our taxes have gone up. Okay, our insurance has gone up. We've got a vote in November for our taxes. I don't know if you've heard about this, Kevin, but there's a proposal.
I did.
You did? Okay.
Didn't we talk about this last week when I was on the soapbox of the government? It's a no vote for me. I don't care what picture they paint.
The $6.3 billion tax budget for the city of Austin, which actually has us surpassing Dallas. Dallas's tax budget is $5 million. We're looking at 6.3 billion and 6.3 billion. Easy for me to say. But
and what's our population? And think about that.
I don't know the answer to that. I'll be honest.
Like,
Google. Can you Google that for the team?
Yes.
The point of it is that it would be an increase of 25% of basically of taxes. So if you have a $500,000 house right now, you're paying about $2,400 in tax. That could bump it up to $2,900. So that's a real increase of however much that is in $500 over the course of a year. So an extra $25-$30 a month. So again, things are just creeping up, and it is going to a vote. So
well, that's the good thing. It's way too big for it not to go to a vote. So that's the good thing. At least
it triggers a vote because it's above the amount that we would normally be going. So it does trigger a vote.
And I think we mentioned last week, it's for police, it's for this, and it's for that. And there's no doubt Austin is a growing city. I got it. But I mean, you're talking about a city that doesn't want to be audited. You got a city council that refuses to be audited. They clearly don't know math. They don't understand 2 + 2 = 4. There's no doubt waste within that number.
I can do 2 + 2.
What's that?
I can do 2 + 2, but apparently I can't do 3 × 30.
No, but that's okay. No one's. So right here it says Dallas has approximately 313,000 more people, population-wise, than Austin, and our budget's going to be 1.2 billion more. I mean, it's like
we've got some infrastructure things though that we just have to get done, and I think that we'll be remiss if we don't do them because it's not like the price is going down anytime soon. Like the cost to build, to create the density, to support our firefighters, EMS, all the things that we need to do, and to get our infrastructure in place. They cut back. I think we talked about it last week. They cut back on the cap and stitch program by $105 billion. I mean, it's 105 million, billion, whatever it was. It was a lot of freaking money. 105 million that we.
Excuse me. Thank you.
That we need, that federal funding is gone. So if we're not connecting our city, which the plan obviously was to try to connect east and west, because we've got these 2 highways that unless you're way up at 183 cutting across the city, just as we all know, is a requirement for all of us, right? If you're going east west, without having that ability, right, to cut across. I think it's a shame that we're not getting what we're not getting right now, but the price isn't going to go down.
I get that, but again, I'll just go back to the city council took this vote. What was it, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yep.
To start laying rail.
Yep.
Here we sit now, and now they need more money to do the same thing they promised 5 years ago. It just goes back to, for me, my faith in the city council in Austin is zero. Absolutely zero. Since I've moved to Austin and watched their movements and what they've allowed with, they got the homeless thing cleaned up, but what they allowed with initially that going on, like they just continue to push the envelope. They love social experiments instead of just really honing in on the purpose of government, which is fire, safety, and transit. Just focus on what you're really intended for instead of all of your social projects. Let's focus there first. Let's spend that money first. And then if you want to go do that other stuff, great. But to see a 20% increase again to taxpayers, you're gonna stunt growth. That passes. I'm sorry, but now you start getting into a lot of these companies that we're seeing, especially even my sons, right? So when he initially came into the company, and I'm not going to mention the company name, I don't think that's right, but they are in Palo Alto. So that's their mainstay. They moved during the pandemic, some of their stuff to Austin, cost effective, tax rebates, all the 9 yards. They're already phasing out their Austin office. And what they're going to do is they're not going to be bringing people to Austin anymore. They're like, it's just not cost effective anymore. So now you layer on this tax. Now you take it from a personal level and you're like, well, shit. Okay, if it's going to cost me one of the top 5 tax brackets, or it's going to be the cost of living is one of the top 5 places to live, do I really want to live in Austin, Texas? You start playing that out as opposed to just being like, hey, it's cost effective, it's fun, it's got a great atmosphere. You start creeping in just massive taxes. It really plays on the psyche of a lot of people in a different way instead of saying, hey, it's a great place, I'll figure it out. Well, no, you can't figure it out because the tax base is just going to be crushing. Yep. So, I mean, I'm all for it for everything you said when you paint the picture of, hey, we need these social services, we need they need to be audited. They need to focus on the top 3 things. And until that happens and until they're willing to get that, I think I'm really hoping that the voters show up who should show up this time, that are always the ones that are like us. We need to start pushing back and saying, no, go fix it. And then maybe that'll pressure them into an audit, because that's really what Austin needs. I mean, think about it. Think about it. Last year, Austin, I don't know if you know this, Austin spent $1 million on HIV testing. $1 million. $1 million. Like, why? Like, I don't know. I am not up on what's happening in the medical space for that particular thing. I follow a lot of things, but not that. Yeah. I mean, but it's just, that sounds like it's very excessive. Like $1 million. I mean, how much do those tests cost? I mean, I don't want to get, but that's my point. Government waste. What's important? It's those 3 things: safety, transit. So that's my vote. That's what I'm saying. My vote is no, Jay Goodman. Awesome. Well, don't forget in that vote that was like 5 years ago. We voted to have the what's the word I'm looking for? We voted to have our exemption, our homeowner exemption, down to $100K. So that cut out like $18 billion of money that was coming into the city before when we switched that exemption. So it's like we're trying to make it up. So Austin Energy is going to be a good percentage of money that comes into the city. So look for those rates to obviously increase. And the fact is that it's like become a shell game. We're just moving it around, right? So our exemption went up
What's our exemption now with the big, beautiful bill? I can't remember off the top of my head, but that increased the exemption. So you're like taking it from one place and saying, okay, you don't have to pay it. And then you're turning around and our housing prices have done this because we went 50% year over year during the pandemic, right? And so now that money, now that our home values have kind of come back down, what's happened? Have our taxes gone down? No, they've gone up. Right. Yep. And so they've got to get the money from somewhere, even though our home values have come down. And between that and insurance, which obviously doesn't feed into our city, but it's just a cost of living, people are going to need to budget accordingly. Yeah. So that's where we are with that.
And I just take it from the perspective also, when I see a lot of new first-time home buyers or people moving into Texas, it often is sticker shock, unless you're coming from a major city, right?
Yeah.
The sticker shock of how our taxes are done, and you have no state income tax. Somebody coming from a state that has both and doesn't pay as high in property taxes, it's a little bit of a sticker shock for them.
It's a lot.
So, that's something that you're going to have to get around, and that's something that affects us and our space, and it's something that affects housing. Because again, when you go back and you're like, whoa, I was thinking about moving to Texas, but holy smokes, okay, well, maybe I should consider some other places. Is there a state that's close? Is there, things like that. That's all.
Yep, absolutely.
It's not cheap.
No, it's not. So let's skip that New Jersey thing about the blockchain, and let's talk about the fact that house in Texas just sold to 38 investors using an NFT. Kind of cool.
It's amazing.
So a lot of them are like literally first-time crypto users. And now they're making money because they went in on this house. I think it's amazing that they tokenized this house. And I think we're going to see more and more of it. But that said, I am glad that Texas is on the map for doing that, because they're earning monthly income in U.S. funds. That what could be bad? What could be bad? So I think it's kind of cool. I think we'll see more and more. I think I know Florida had a house in 2022 that sold for in Ethereum via an NFT. So imagine what that would be worth now. As we watch the price of ETH hovering around, I think what we were at earlier this morning when I looked at about 5:30, it was somewhere around 4,200. So we're off our high. But we're still looking pretty darn good in comparison. So more and more of that coming forward, I think. But I'm just like thrilled to say that for these 38 investors that purchased the NFT of this house, which means they're all holding shares, is really cool. And it doesn't require an SEC filing for the whole asset. So however they've got that figured out is how I don't know how it works, but if there's I know if there's a further fractionalization of it, I think that's a word, then they would have to require for SEC filing, but they don't. I don't know.
I like it though. It's a great way. Really cool. You can pool money and buy it collectively in big groups, and like you said, I mean, it doesn't
and then borrow against it.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be like you're saying, if you're using like hedge fund money and you're doing REITs and stuff like that, like you need to go, that's SEC filing stuff. So to, in a way, circumvent that and get around that and be able to be a little bit more nimble, that could create a lot more opportunity for the average consumer, the average group that just has some dough and is like, hey, I want to explore this.
Yeah.
So significant for sure. As a matter of fact, something I should be paying attention to.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it makes opportunities for purchasing amongst groups. I think that much. I'm definitely going to take a look more into that and see. I mean, BlackRock is pursuing a $10 trillion tokenization strategy, and they're converting assets, their bonds and equities and real estate into blockchain-based tokens. Like, they're going all in. So for those who think it's not coming, it's coming. It's here.
It's coming.
It's here for sure.
Well, and you should learn about it because who knows, especially in a place like Austin, right? It's very tech savvy.
Yep.
It's inevitable that somebody may come along and offer you to purchase your house using crypto. I mean, it could happen, especially like in these major cities or tech cities, which Austin is one of them. So
Absolutely.
to know about it, educate yourself, and understand what it really means, could definitely be important down the line. Because should that offer come, you want to be able to know that you can understand it.
Yep. So I want to top line on the fact with you that Berkshire Hathaway basically just put in almost $1 billion play recently in scooping up a bunch of Lennar and DR Horton. Then they took a stake in Nucor, which is a steelmaker, and a $1.6 billion bet on an insurance company called UnitedHealth. So,
well, they did that along with what's his face, the old guy that's retiring, Omaha, Nebraska. God, why? I mean, never mind. Keep going. I'll tell you.
Okay.
Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire.
That's what I just said. That's was the beginning of this sentence.
Oh, I thought you said
Hathaway.
Oh, yes, United Healthcare.
Yeah. So that to me just tells me somebody's getting ready for the next pandy or the next whatever's coming along. So be prepared, people, and follow the money.
Did you just say the next pandy?
Yep.
That's funny.
Yep. So that's big news, though, obviously, because everyone knows how they've been sitting on cash for quite some time. So for them to put, $1 billion out there for Lennar and DR Horton just goes to show you they're making these more affordable houses. They're investing in what are considered more affordable housing, if you will, not in the literal sense of from a government program, but houses that are more affordable. So very, I think it's just something to watch as to where they're going with that. Any thoughts?
I'm sorry, I was reading something else, so I totally didn't understand.
Good talk. Welcome to our show, everybody. Welcome to what we're doing. My name is Jennifer Goodman. Every week I'm joined sometime in part.
Go repeat yourself. That's okay. What happened?
I was just wondering if you had any thoughts that Berkshire Hathaway would put this $1 billion into play with Lennar and DR Horton.
Look, one of the smartest people ever from an investment standpoint. Everything he does is long-term thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he's very astute when things have bottomed out.
Yep.
He's usually pretty good at that.
Yep.
So I was just looking in the last month. United Healthcare is up 20% in a month.
Yeah. So is DR Horton. Lennar was up not double digits, but I think DR Horton was up double digits, like 22% their stock.
Now, what he's seeing in the housing place, I think what he's seeing is a lot of the rhetoric from builders' perspective that their confidence level from a builder side is really historically low. So I think he's reading those lows. In the last month, Lennar's up 15%. So obviously their influence is significant, at least, Berkshire Hathaway's is. But I think that's what he's seeing. He's seeing the writing on the wall from the builder confidence side, permit side. We are at historic lows, which to him means long-term that can only get better. Now, may he have to ride some bumps? He could. In the sector itself, I think there's still a little bit of a rocky road, but I think also he's a pretty smart man in that he sees bottoms and he knows his influence will get a good pump out of it.
Totally.
And he'll be able to, his influence will ride the wave from a stock valuation standpoint over the course of the next 6 months, where it could continue to be a little bit bumpy until that confidence turns.
Mm-hmm.
So, all that being said, I think, it's probably a 2 or 3 year play for them because we'll see the rebound. We'll see interest rates come down. we'll see the kind of the perfect storm of everything come together. But I still think we're 6 to 12 months out.
Yep.
I just do.
But that's, when
Unfortunately.
everyone zigs, they zag. So they know
Right.
what they're doing, and they've got the fortitude, right? They don't care about a little dip here and there. They're playing the long game.
Yeah, and I don't know enough about builders and builders numbers, DR Horton. I don't know why he picked those particular ones other than from a very macro standpoint of
Because they build houses that are more affordable to more Americans.
There you go. Yeah. And they're going to be able to do probably, you know, if that's the case, then they're building more, right? So it's more of a they can offer lower pricing. They're going to be able to turn more homes. So there's always going to be movement in those smaller builders. And they're attacking more the affordability side, which I think is, we've talked about with the Austin numbers, the biggest sales is all under 500K. We've talked about it numerous times. So if you're focused on the builders in that segment, it's great because you're always going to just get, you know, you're going to try and move things on volume as opposed to a custom home builder, a more luxury home builder. You know, it's going to be, maybe we build 200 homes in a year where, you know, for just perspective, the other one's building 1,000. So you're mitigating that risk.
Yeah. And here's our Austin numbers again, looking at the price points here, the 300 to 500 right here. But again, each of them 3 to 400 and 4 to 500 outpaced all the other segments in terms of total number of sales. So yeah, there's that.
And that makes sense.
And here's our numbers. We're pretty flat as it relates to the market. I don't understand how that says. What's that number right there? Oh, that's 580, and we're now at 575. So we've come down $5,000 again as a median. That I think is, to me, that holds pretty flat. We're not seeing big swings in the marketplace. So, all right, I have one more thing to talk about before our fun fact.
Okay.
This one got me juiced.
Ooh.
HUD, the Housing and Urban Development company that we all pay into. HUD is moving to make English the sole language for nearly all of its services and communication. They are completely going to eliminate non-English flyers, digital content, and translation service, previously available to 200 languages. And what was said by our president is so disgusting to me that I just was like, not really happy how anybody could do this in a place where we have so many. I mean, we are a melting pot. That was what America has been built on. And basically, he had made a comment about English as the one language that we are all speaking and should be speaking, and therefore we're not going to put money into this translation. Like, what a douche. So anyways, I still believe we are the greatest country in the world, but when you turn around and you make information not readily available in the language of those who are citizens, I have a problem.
Yeah, I don't think it's the right move either. However, I will say we got to streamline government. So I think a great compromise would be, given AI can translate anything, right? I mean, it's not difficult. But mandate that those people should have to go and get on a computer at some level and they can see translation there. I mean, that would be really easy to do. I get the whole print side. I get all that kind of stuff. I get
the print side, but you have to give them access.
Exactly. There should be it should be the same HUD website. You should be able to go to a button on the right and ask for a translation, and AI should be able to do it for you in 2 seconds.
Like that.
Exactly. So to eliminate
not making it available is my issue, though. So if they,
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with that. I agree that I think it's, you know, it's just like an overreach, so to speak, of why. I mean, look, it's very Trump-esque, right?
Yeah.
America first, America first, America first.
Well, who do you think is living in America?
Yeah. Oh, I get it. I get it.
It is America, and America supports everybody. I mean, that is,
yeah.
What does the Statue of Liberty say? Bring us, bring us. And anyways, between that and ICE, I'm a little bit, one voice, one language is,
yeah, I don't think that's necessary because, like you said, we already have people living in the United States that speak other languages as their primary. And I get English should be it, but you should be able to go to the site. It should be in English. Got it. That's our language.
Button that you push.
And over to the side, it should be AI. Boom. Give it to me in Arabic or whatever you need so that you can get the translation and you could possibly, as a citizen, become a homeowner. Like that's crazy. And that's cost effective, right? I think that's cost effective.
As long as you make it available.
Correct. So I don't agree with the total wipeout across the board. I hadn't heard of that. Stuff like that comes across my plate.
It does sound like it's going to be mostly wiped out. And, that's, I don't know. I think to your point, the AI now has a huge ability to translate. And I think that you're right. It will be fiscally more judicious to not have all of the other parts. However, we still need to make it available, easily available to all.
Agreed.
So,
maybe they'll modify it. I mean, typically what happens with this administration, I think we've kind of learned from is we say something, we swing for the fences. We say this is going to be big and bodacious, and then you get a lot of pushback and a lot of people that come with some common sense, and then it gets modified to some level. So I would expect the same here.
Ain't nothing common about common sense, Kevin.
Yeah. So I would expect the same, that it's not going to just be totally wiped out, but some modification of it. But I'm in the camp. You don't need to print in 200 languages. That's insanity. That's way too much. Because as you and I both know, that data changes so frequently.
Instagram. So here's the thing. Instagram just now auto translates everything into Spanish. Just added that.
Yep. Yeah. You can. And if you see a post that you want to, that comes to you in Spanish, because you're, the algorithm, whatever, sends you the stuff, you can just hit translate and it comes to English or vice versa. Yeah. So again, the technology's there. I'm sure it will get modified, but I'm not in the camp that you need to print it all, because you don't, because the information changes so frequently of guidelines, what you need to do, where you need to go, different areas to call. Like, it should all be digital. All of it. Everyone's got a damn phone.
Access.
Yeah, everyone's got a phone. I mean, so anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to our fun fact?
Let's do it.
All right. I don't have it as a Q&A today, Kevin. I'm really sorry. But you know
all right,
that Austin is the only city in the world that is still operating 19th century moonlight towers?
Ooh, no idea. Where's the Moonlight Tower? What are you talking about?
We have 17 of them in the city. They were originally installed in 1895. We have 17 remaining. There were 31 at some point, and they were really common across the U.S. And there's one in Zilker Park that they turn into a Christmas tree every year. But these were the whole reason they exist, and they're called moon towers, is they were this game changer for nighttime activities in an era back in 1895 where less than half of Austinites had electricity at home. So you could all gather, you could horse and buggy or whatever you were doing back in the day, and go over there, and you would be able to have light in all of these spaces and people could gather. But we are the only city in the world still operating ours. I think that's kind of cool.
Again, right? Keep Austin weird. There's always some uniqueness to Austin, which is great, which is why people love it. Because as you just said, we're the only city doing it. So
in the nation,
Austin loves uniqueness.
In the world. Sorry, in the world. World up. So, all right, Kevin, let's round it out today. Will rates go up or down in the next week? What's your prediction?
So a couple things to look for. Tomorrow you have Fed Powell will speak coming out of the Jackson Hole Symposium. Based on the services PMI today, I think you're going to get a lot of the same rhetoric. I don't think he's going to turn extremely dovish, but that could be something tomorrow that could absolutely move markets. If he clearly indicates we're doing a September cut, the market could really be like, okay, that's 100%, even though it's priced in now. There's still some conflicting data. We're still in this 2-year data-driven environment where it constantly is conflicting. We have no clear indication of where this shit's going, which is why we continue to be in the mid sixes, maybe lower sixes. We dip to 7%. So that, and then I think next week we get PCE, as I already brought that chart up on Friday. I'm in the camp that I've said it, and I'm going to stick by it. I think inflation is a concern. I don't think the Fed did enough to tame it fast enough. I think the tariffs are having a slight impact. I don't think it's the dramatic one where everyone said, you know, prices are going to be X, Y, and Z. But I think we're in this environment that it's going to take a few more months to start seeing the revenue from the tariff revenue to paying down the federal deficit. So I think rates continue to be cautious, and they're going to be on the rise next week as well. I don't think drastic, but I think we got another eighth to a quarter. And then we're going to come into that first week of September. And if the labor market stabilizes, interest rates will stay up. And if the labor market shows it has huge kinks in its armor and it's way off like it was in the corrections, and all of a sudden it's holy shit, we now are going to hit the panic button, I think that could be what brings rates down. But we'll talk about that next week. But I think we're going to ride this kind of upward trend. There's no data since the non-farm payroll that is pushing rates lower. And the market's starving for it, and it's not getting it. It's getting the opposite. It's getting more uncertainty, and it's getting indications that inflation is a problem. And really no significant jobs data. We had initial jobless claims today, but it only missed by 9,000. I mean, that's not a huge miss.
Okay.
So I think they keep inching up.
All right. You heard it here.
I said it last week and I was right. So
there
again,
go.
It goes back to
how many times you're right and how many times you're not. But you know, who the hell knows these days? I like that you're a betting man. I like that you're a betting man. You stand.
I am betting, and I'll pull up this chart real quick. This is again,
Kevin. Every time we do our sign off, you have to bring something else up.
I just want to show people.
Like we're going to end the show with this, and then you speak for like 7 more minutes.
I got a lot.
You do it every week.
I know. But look at these dips. Lock those dips. That's my point.
Okay.
Lock those dips. All right.
You wouldn't want to have gotten that in the previous hour. I appreciate it. So no, I get it.
It's so
thanks
true.
So much for tuning
All right.
in to What's Brewing. My name is Jennifer S. Goodman. I'm a local realtor here in Austin, Texas. And every week I'm joined by
Kevin Weedmark, nationwide mortgage consultant, who has a lot more to say. So if anybody wants to just talk interest rates and macroeconomics shit, schedule a call. Let's go.
Let's go. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll catch you next week.
All right. See ya.